Hey there, and welcome back to Beyond Blue Adventures. In the next couple of videos, you're going to watch us bring a 1987 custom paddle wheel boat from Bayshore, New York to Destin, Florida. Now sit back and enjoy the journey.
We made it, Ma! Hi, babies. Sleep up here just in case. New York! And New York! I feel like we're never gonna get there. There's finally no ice. I haven't even talked about that yet. Like what happened that night. Alright, we finally made it out of Coinjock. We finally got away from the ice. Ice is something I never, ever, ever want to deal with again on a wooden boat. Please, never again. But that's over. We waited. We made the right call. We left at 6 this morning from Coinjock. We're heading for Belhaven. We're making 6.5 knots. We should get there right before sunset. Last light's at 5:45. So right at sunset we'll be getting into Belhaven. I don't like driving at night on this boat because I ain't got nothing. I don't have, my depth sounder doesn't work. My radar's so bright that it blinds me, so I don't have that on. My iPad's barely keeping up. Actually, this little thing right there hasn't been that bad. It's just so tiny. It doesn't do a whole lot for me, so. Let's go for a cruise. There's a shallow spot over there. Gotta get closer to that green. We have made it to the Alligator River Swing Bridge. Come on, Manaki. Not my problem. We've got a sailboat behind us and we had to wait for them. Kind of threw us off for a little bit for the day. We're getting after it though. Talk to this bridge guy. Give him a horn toot.
All no adventures, clear the bridge. Thank you.
All right, we are rounding the corner to enter into the Alligator Pungo River Canal. Now, real quick though, I do want to talk about Norfolk to Coinjock. Norfolk to Coinjock. You know, we had just finished a spell where it was like 20 degrees for a couple of days, and there was a ton of ice. It started off okay. We were just breaking through a little bit of it. Being a wooden boat, I took my time, you know, maybe scuffed up some of the bottom paint, and then we got into the Pungo River Sound, and that is a very shallow sound. And we looked across and saw that it was completely frozen over all the way across. We ended up turning around about a quarter of the way in. We pulled off to some pilings, and I replaced my nav lights, and when I finished replacing my nav lights, a barge was on its way down, and I made the decision that this barge is going to crush up a lot of that ice. It's going to move it out of the way, and it would probably be a good idea to follow them through. Another boat jumped in front of me. What's up, okay? And working with them, the boat seemed to be staying out of the ice, but I asked him to move closer because what I was quickly realizing once we were getting through the beginning portion is that when the thicker stuff, when the barge had passed through it, it started sucking in behind him, and I was getting enclosed essentially by ice sheets of ice, and anytime he would turn, the sheets of ice would just rush down his boat, and I've never experienced ice in my life, and I will never do what I did again especially on a wooden boat. You know, when those sheets would come around on him and they would hit us, it would literally jolt the boat to the left or right, whichever side it hit from, port or starboard, and it sounded like, I don't know, a car crash, and it was a scary feeling. I had my deckhands running up and down the stairs, checking bilges, making sure that we weren't taking on water. We put the life raft on the bow. That's how nervous we were getting about this ice just chopping through the side of the boat. And the next thing that was happening is that when the barge was running through that sound, it's a very shallow sound with all the water being frozen. I think he was on bottom almost the entire time. So there'd be moments where we would move, and then he would come to almost a complete stop, and he would probably just plow through on the bottom. And when he was doing that, he was moving so much water, and the water had nowhere to go, that it created whirlpools. And with those whirlpools, you would see it spinning, you know, clockwise or counterclockwise, and whichever way it was spinning, the entire boat felt like the teacup ride at Disney World. Boom, you would do almost a 360. So I was having to really work my motors, work my steering. It was, you know, it's probably normally a 2-hour transit across that sound at 6 knots. It took us 6 hours, and it was the longest 6 hours of my life. When we got to Coinjock, I was so happy. We got tied up, inspected the bow of the vessel, and yeah, we definitely, you know, roughed up that outside. I would say that we shaved a little bit off. So it was a lesson to learn. You know, I've watched other boats go through that day. A couple of Vikings, they had no problem with it. Just wood and ice, they don't mix. We waited a day. We tried to get underway. I saw a little more ice, and I told myself I would not do that again. So we turned around, and now we were there for 2 days, essentially. And we untied this morning at like 5 in the morning. And we got underway in hopes that we can do this 12-hour transit to get to Belhaven, which I think we're going to make right before sunset. Right now sunset's at like 5:30, and last light's at 5:45. It's currently, my Garmin's saying that we're going to get there at 5:30, so it'd be really nice to get there before last light. So I think my starboard shaft, or not shaft, but prop is bent, so I get a quite a bit of vibration off the starboard side, especially when I'm at higher RPMs like today. I'm really trying to push it. So that being said, actually these are Detroit 671Ns keel cooled. They're actually really good motors. I think that the props are way oversized, which is a good thing essentially. You know, this boat doesn't need to go fast. What it needs is control, and with those giant props being the way that they are, they definitely give me a lot of control, which is valuable with this boat. It's hard to see over the bow, you know, it's hard to see over the right, and there's not a whole lot of cameras. The cameras that are there are kind of just to wash over the customers. You look over the stern, can't see anything. So, you know, you really have to rely on a good deckhand with this boat. I think you know, most of the boats that we run, it's heavily dependent on the captain, but with this vessel, it's going to be heavily dependent on the captain and a really good first mate. Alright, it's probably really hard to see, but we just made it into Belhaven. Morehead City's tomorrow. But we made it to Belhaven, and we're all tied up. Long day, 12-hour day, but I think we're going to do the same thing tomorrow. Get underway just before first light, and try and make it to Morehead City, which is another 12-hour transit. Start clear. Next stop, Morehead City. Couldn't ask for a better day. Over here. Let's see what we can do. You guys want to watch me drive? You want to watch me drive? Very much going on. about to enter into the Neuse River, Nassau River, Nassau, whatever. Yeah, just long day. I think I see a sailboat off my bow. Yeah, sailboat. Slowly but surely, here we go. Alright, so we had the reduced speed out here and the sound. Probably blowing like 15 knots. I mean, just looking at the white caps, yeah, it's gotta be somewhere near there. And probably closer to 12. But the chop is just beating us up with the speed that we had at 1300 RPMs of 7 knots. So brought it down to 12 and lost a knot. Yeah, it's very tight chop. So beating us up. It sounds brutal, but I think it's getting worse. Look at all that white caps out there. You can't really see it on camera. There are a lot of white caps out there. Alright, we just made our turn to enter into the Adams Creek. So we're entering into Adams Creek. We're 2 hours out from the marina. Oh, we got 8 foot. Pretty shallow around here. You probably can't see that because of the glare, but 8 foot under us, 7 foot under us. I can see a bar right there. Doesn't look friendly. I got my red over here. I should hug that, I guess. You know, one thing to know about the intercoastal and these markers is that most of the time, yeah, it's shallow. Most of the time, if behind you the green is on the wrong side, you're out of the channel. And right now that green was on the wrong side of me. So we're gonna keep going right. I'll set you down, pay attention. Yeah, there's this big sandbar off the port side right now. There we go, got 10 foot under me again. Another sandbar out there to the right. Adams Creek, got some shoaling going on. You know, this is not much, like this ain't too complicated. I hear that Georgia's real complicated, and maybe I'll be able to jump offshore for those parts, but really I'd love to just stick in the ICW the entire trip, but I'm on a mission, gotta get home, I miss the dogs, I miss the wife. This is me and Bailey, anchor right there. Go check out that creek, take the dogs, man, go have a good old time. But not today. Alright, we were falling off course a little bit. I got a red right up there. Got my green over here. Let's go hug that green. But we're booking right now. 8.3 knots, 8 knots. I'd say we're probably averaging about 7.8. Downwind, downstream. Flying. Adams Creek, probably the better section of the ICW that we've seen. This has been pretty boring, man. We got our butts kicked for 2 days out in the Atlantic, and then ice. It's just nice to be in here. There's a sandbar right there. Wonder if you can tell on the TV or on the camera. Zenny Denny did, brought to you by Zen. This video is brought to you by ZYN. ZYN is a daily supplement of nicotine. They give you, I don't know what to say. It's all you AG wonders out there. Element ZY or AG1 jukebox or whatever the power thing is. I ain't got no sponsors. The owner of this vessel is my sponsor. Thanks, Happy's Water Sports. This dang thing shakes, man. Once we get a little bit further south, maybe like Florida where the water's warmer, maybe I'll jump in and see what the freaking bottom of this boat looks like. Set you up to check this out, YouTube. Now, this is the dream right there. If I could just put the breeze like right there on that side dock. Probably really windy there. I'll have to find something to block that out. Getting warmer, man. They got the windows open. No ice. This is gonna take a long time to edit. There's so much footage. There's dolphin.
Uh-oh. Oh, right in front of us. Right in front of us.
Adams Creek, you have not disappointed. We just saw dolphins. This right here is not stressful. Something goes wrong, I'll run onto the beach, man. Like, when you're out there in the sounds in the Atlantic on a boat you know nothing about, it's just, especially in 1987, it's nice to be protected. Doot doot. I see you. All right. Court Creek Bridge, we are approaching. We are downwind, downstream, making 8 knots, no wake in the no wake zone, because this boat barely throws a wake anyway, but it's nice to be
making speed, making progress. We got one more day of good weather, and then I think we're going to be held up because of wind on Friday. There's another winter storm coming. So, beautiful though. Alright, Morehead City is just out in front of us. We have exited Adams Creek, and we're about 30 minutes from the yacht basin. Try and remember the video of this one. You know, once you get in those situations, you just go to work. You don't think about the GoPro, but I'm gonna try. Remember it for you guys.
Wait, where are we now? North Carolina? Yeah, I think there's an old fort here. Me and Bailey toured one time.
I don't think so.
No, I'm thinking about Louisiana?
This is North Carolina. This is the Kristy.
Yeah, bye. Let's go 71.
Roger, this is Lauren Kristy on 7-1.
Go ahead.
Hey, I just started down the channel here.
Alright, everything's like before. You'll come down the channel. I got a sailboat on my very last T-head. You will go past him and turn to port. The two options, once you turn to port, there's about 100 foot of dock right on the very end. Like I said, the wind after you turn to port will be on your bow, and the current will take you off the dock. Second option is after you make your turn, just come on down the long dock, and I got 100 feet. After you pass two boats on your port, I got 100 feet where it's mainly wind up here, no current.
Oh yeah. Once I get up to that sailboat, I'll make that call. But thank you for that information. It was really good information. Thank you.
If you do want to come on up, there's a couple of volleyballs close to your right. You will stay between them and the dock if you do come on up. You want to go on up or go here?
I think I'm gonna go up.
Alright. Pass that second trawler. Pass second trawler.
So you want me behind the sailboat?
Yeah, you'll be second trawler between him and the sailboat. sailboat's not going anywhere, so you can come right up where I'm at.
Alright, that's a wrap. You just watched us travel from Coinjock down to Morehead City. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next one.